Hey guys, welcome to the Crypto Lab with Alex. We are going to go over the macro scene as usual, and then we're going to look what's going on Bitcoin, and then we're going to look some comments and also maybe one chart request. So let's dive into it. Let's look what's going on the Fed CME tool. So 14th of June, next Fed meeting, market is pricing 58.8% probability we're going to stay unchanged, and then 41.2% we're going to go 25 basis points. So market is turning because, as you can see down there, if you look at this CME tool, you can go and see what actual probabilities was at 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month ago. So from 70% 1 month ago or 64.4% 1 week ago, we are at 58.8% of probability that Fed is going to stay unchanged, and the probability for 25 basis points hike is growing. So I don't know from where and why, probably because of the debt ceiling problems. We still have that unresolved. Stock market is moving higher this morning. Nasdaq, especially due to Nvidia incredible move overnight, earnings has killed it. So we also have the CPI, which is going to be, I think, reported on 13th of June, so just 1 day before the Fed meeting. Of course, we're going to have a jobs report in the meantime. So I don't see why the rates should go further higher. I didn't see any CPI movement higher in the last reports. We fell for a small increment, but still we are now at a little bit below 5%. So inflation is moving lower constantly for the next for the last couple of months, and I think it's going to continue. Commodities prices are still in most cases very kind of a sideways to lower levels, and also oil didn't go much on the upside. So if we take the energy base cost, we should not see much of an increase. We have other components, but the true inflation side, which is measuring all of the prices over internet, measured by all components, that also CPI is measuring now 3.4% inflation. Let's check that out. True inflation, I didn't know for this website before. I heard it a couple of days ago, and it's kind of a handy. So now inflation, as you can see on True Inflation website, USA, 2.96 even. So I don't know how CPI can go up, and we're gonna have PCE tomorrow, which is one of the favorite Fed metrics. But again, I mean, if CPI goes back to 4.5% and even below, I don't know why and how Fed is going to find any adjustments to move, or any explanation why they're moving rates further on the upside, where we have already seen a problem in a regional banking sector because of unhedged treasury positions, and we also have a pretty sizable debt which needs to service, and higher the rates goes, that is a burden for the economy in the future. So I honestly think they're going to pause, especially if this CPI comes even below 4.9%. So that was that. Let's look what's going on total crypto market cap. Let's look at the stock markets today first. Let's see what's going on there, because liquidity is still a primary driver of cryptos, as we know. So as I said before, Nasdaq is moving on the upside. We had this zone from 1417 to 1433.65, but he already posted a new high for proposed wave 5. So even from here, or a little bit more on the upside, we do expect in this scenario we have a 2 more, but in this scenario that this is some type of a leading diagonal, we should see maybe a little bit more upside and then a pullback in this wave 2 or B. for now. So we still gonna stay constructive on the stock market for trading analysis, which also have a stock service. It was incredibly hard, how to say, or very tough to stay on a bullish side during this period. Market was heavily bearish, but we managed somehow to do it, looking all of these macro factors and technicals. So we kept our clients on the right side for now. So we are still not waving the winning flag. There is lots of things still to unfold, but for now our best case scenario, which was a bullish one, is still working. So we're gonna stay on that side until proven differently, and that as well goes for the Bitcoin and total crypto market cap, as well as Ethereum. So that's a stock market outlook. So we do expect a little bit of a pullback. We have one a little bit more extreme bullish scenario, which says that we're going to continue after an even smaller pullback here with the different numbers and a different pattern, actually, that we're going to go down to 13,000 and then move on the upside. So that is also possible. So we are going to see, we are very kind of dancing on the thin edge here, but the macro outlook and technicals definitely helps. So that's that. Let's move and let's see what's going on the total crypto market cap, which is still moving pretty much sideways. We didn't see anything, so I do expect this X wave either to finish here or to be a little bit more upside, or to go even a little bit more. So this might be some type of a 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 5 waves up, or I still don't see anything impulsive on the upside, and since we do see a potential of stock market moving a little bit lower from current or a little bit higher levels, we will probably address this and continue to address this as a Y wave to the downside towards this let's say support zone from 920 billion to 1 trillion on the total crypto market cap. So we are still don't see any signs that this small downtrend is finished. So we're going to continue to watch that. But our, let's say, best appropriate pattern, how we will describe the current psychology of crypto investors, is WXY, which means we might get a little bit more of a downside price action. So the same is on Bitcoin. We talked about that, I think, last week. So on a Bitcoin longer term, we still stay bullish. I'm going to remove these labels, which are subjective. Of course, Elliott Wave depends on the one who actually is behind the wheel. And also you have to look a couple of other things like macro factors and stuff like that and pair that together. But just to show you without any labels, without that thinking, if you look this chart and when you see that we went up, down, up, and then consolidate down, and then again up above this weekly 200 moving average, which we test now, and also daily, which is just a touch below, we cannot be bearish totally yet. We need to see some larger move here below this weekly and daily. Basically, I will become or neutral. I'm bullish now. I will become neutral if I see the price action goes below 17,500, 17,000. So if we go below these levels, I will become neutral, and then if this starts to move into a 5-way move, kind of a testing 15, 17K, I will definitely say I was wrong. My bullish scenario doesn't work, and actually we'll look for a pullback to short it. So for now, I don't see any evidence of that. We are holding all of these levels for now. And from the highs, if we go on a daily, we didn't see anything that will recommend or that will look like a straight 5-way move to the downside. We have some type of a 3-way move with a small consolidation for now. Okay, so if we think that or if the Nasdaq will go a touch lower after these highs, If we talk about the probabilities, the most probable chart, which will actually explain this, what's going on a Bitcoin, will be, just to return the labels, some type of the X wave, which is just a connector of the two zigzags. So in Elliott Wave, you have zigzags, which are a kind of a basic of a corrective pattern, and from there you have two more, which is triangle and flats, and then you have varieties, which is a double zigzag or triple one, which is very rare. So double zigzag, in order to be connected with the three wave move, each consisting each of them, the X wave actually is a connector. So what this X wave does is just connects to zigzags. So it's very simple. It's not something of a rocket science. So you have a 5 waves down in A, pullback in B, some type of a 5 waves down in potentially diagonal in wave C, and that we label as a W, which is a mark for the first unfolded zigzag. So now we look for some type of an X wave, which can be in a triangle, which can be in an ABC or any of a corrective pattern. And then we're going to look for a continuation down in a Y wave, which will be just a secondary zigzag. Okay, so we have also some FIB tools to measure this zigzag. So equality, if we, let's say, try to, or we go a little bit more on the upside, and then from 28K we move to the downside, equality of these two levels will be exactly around potential daily 200 moving average. RSI also looks nice on a daily. I always like to see that market doesn't fall that much. As you can see, Bitcoin didn't fall any of a particular significance. So we are in a range from 30K to 26K, which is very small range, I would say, for a Bitcoin in general, if you take an average. So wherever you see an RSI kind of going lower towards this 38.30 and sub 30 levels, and you didn't see that confirmation on a price, that's kind of a good sign, because it's maybe kind of a telegraph the underlying strength. Okay, so Bitcoin also did fell apart from the correlation with Nasdaq. So I would like also to show you that. That's a very interesting thing. So potentially Bitcoin might kind of announce a potential move down in a stock markets or Nasdaq, which has happened before, if you look. So let's look at that correlation for the Bitcoin, and let's put there Nasdaq. Let's put it in new. Yeah, so as you can see here, let me just kind of pair this so you can see it nicely. So if you see this, so Nasdaq went higher and the Bitcoin went lower. Before, as you can see, we had already seen this type of things. So here Bitcoin moves lower, Nasdaq is in a sideways, kind of a holds its sideways pattern even a couple of months or weeks after it kind of confirms and moves lower. So we have been in that instances before where a Bitcoin was kind of a laggard, in a sense, that announced a possible move down in the stock market. So I think it's basically here you have the same picture. So Bitcoin is kind of a lagging, Nasdaq moving upside. According to our observation, we might be close to some resistance levels. We do a small correction and actually they start to correlate again. So this is just, I think, a temporary phenomenon, because Bitcoin is still not widely adopted asset class that it can trade on its own merits. So it's still fueled by liquidity, and I think for some time definitely it's going to continue to do so. So this type of things happens, and the correlation afterwards, kind of when they fit together, in some point they're going to continue, possibly rise again. So Having said that, since we do expect on a Nasdaq a pullback, something of that nature will be normal to kind of see in the Bitcoin. I explained this RSI, which is a very handy on weekly. RSI, in that case, will be around 50%, which is also good. Sometimes when you have RSI basing around 50, and then 50 mark on the RSI, it potentially continues on the upside. So this is just for now hypothesis, but I do like to see these things aligns. I do like also 200 moving average around 23, 24, 25K. I do like that this is still a very corrective pattern for now. And I do like that we have a couple of strong support levels down there. So on a higher time frame, we also have a base channel here. So everything around, so it's pretty fine for me. And as I said, if we see a break of 18, 17,000, then I will probably begin to question my stance. Okay, so I'm still bullish, so it needs to go down so that I can become neutral. So how this will unfold, basically this will be this wave count is a little bit difficult. In my opinion, I was looking this as a 5 waves down in one, down into a sharp move. Usually wave 2s are sharp. Then a third wave up, a small triangle, and a fifth wave. So I do think this is the larger degree wave 1 array on the upside, and I do consider this to be a corrective pullback in a wave 2 or B. So I do expect at least after let's say 22, 23K, Bitcoin to come to 46 for equality or above, which then it will turn this into 1, 2 wave, intermediary wave 3, 4, and 5, and then towards some final targets. We have a couple of them, but it's still early to talk about that. We also have to mention that the halving period is, I think, March 2024, and Bitcoin, I think it's a time, if you look the halving chart, it will be a perfect timing that Bitcoin starts to move on the upside very soon to kind of reach previous cycles that we had in halving. So all of this might fit together with the Fed pausing, and maybe even until the end of the year, if we see CPI relatively lower, below 4%, might even ease a bit. We will see about that, but even a pause I think will be good because the economy will have time to adjust. So in that manner, I'm gonna stay still bullish. So very simple. Yeah, so on weekly, we do consider this as some type of a wave 3. Many of the labels there, sorry guys, it's a kind of always a case when I'm experimenting and doing so. I was asked many times about the duration about this wave 2 and wave 4. They're still fine. As I said, we are looking 2618 on a time scale. So that is something we will allow in a sense of measuring time elapsed in a wave 2 and time elapsed in a wave 4, 2618 ratio in Fib time. It's still applicable, but if we cross that, and we didn't, we went up before, then most likely when we see this crossed, then most likely this is not a wave 4, it is something else. Because this time ratio is very good for measuring wave 2 and wave 4. It is perfect if it happens at 1618 or 200. That's a kind of a most perfect scenario. But in this case, it lasted a little bit longer. Okay. So yeah, guys. So that's all about the Bitcoin charts, explanations, macro, and our view. I think I did explain this thoroughly. That we also. What we also do for all of these other cryptocurrencies for our members. So if you like to join us and see our work, tradinganalysis.com, crypto trial you can take. It's very, I think it's $27 or something. So if you want to see our work, you can find us there. So let me just look the comments. Max, hi Max. Can you please take a look Solana chart? Hi Oleva, Neo USD. Hi, can you look at ENG? Hi Alex, thanks for sharing. Great. Ethereum, please. DraftKings. Okay, so we are not going to look stocks in Crypto Lab. Yeah, so I'm going to look one chart and then we will close it. Let me just look. This is a Binance feed, which has a little bit less history. That's why I look this crypto compare feed. Let me look. Do I have here a chart of Solana, which is a longer term? Let me just check that, guys. That will be awesome if I have it. Let's see if they have it. Local database. Whoa, maybe we do. Let's see. Okay, cool. So this is the Solana chart without any labels. So what we can see here, especially from this is a weekly chart. So 5 waves up, obviously very visible, not much of a kind of a discussion there. So we have a wave 1, an impulsive nature on the upside, pullback in 3 waves, in a wave 2, then you have a subdivision in a wave 3, pretty visible even on weekly level. You have multi-wave didn't do it correctly. So by the way, multi-wave is great. Sometimes you just need to give it a little bit help. And then a possible triangulation in wave 4 and then a wave 5 on the upside. So a pretty kind of a basic 5-wave move, no fuss there, no all of the corrections are pretty much away one from another. As you can see, this is a wave 4, this is a wave 2. What we don't want to see is overlap, because then you have to construct some type of a leading diagonal, and that is very difficult if you don't have a proper configuration on chart. So you always like to see this as an impulsive move on the upside, and then we have to treat this as either a 5-wave move down or some type of a correction. So in this moment, this is still not very important to me. Why? Because after a correction or every 5 waves, so let's say for an example, this is a 5-wave move. Okay, so from these highs, we are expecting, let's say, some type of an ABC move. Okay, which is usual. After 5 waves, you have same repetition on a higher scale. So this is the same thing here. You have seen 5 waves, 3 waves pullback. It's going to replicate its fractal on a higher time frame. So it's simple. So if we look some B wave and then we look from some C wave down towards 4, I'm just giving an example. I'm not bearish. This is just an example. In a case this is a 5-wave move, I don't want anybody to flip up that I'm bearish. I'm not. This is just a kind of a one exercise. Okay, so let's say this is a 5-wave move and we have a 3-wave pullback, which means 3-wave pullbacks in this particular case, when you have a 5 waves up, usually are 5 waves up in A, some type of a correction in B, which I think it is actually happening on Solana, and then we're going to have one more push up towards 40, 52, 58 for the wave C, which will be actually quality around 45. That depends where this B wave actually finishes. So if we get some retracement levels, 786 is at 10, 618 is at 12. The internal structure, when you look at it on a smaller time frame, I think it's a flat. So we have 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and some type of diagonal 5 waves down, which is completely fine. And this should find support around 1475. That's a kind of a first level I have, and then I look internally how this pattern actually develops. And then I will look for a B wave on the upside to be equal as a C. Let's say B wave starts to find support at 1475, then we can look C wave. And then in the case C wave is passed, then 786 will be next level. So that's how we actually look at it partially. So let's say, for example, we buy Solana here, we will pay attention very much what's going on where these 3 legs are equal, but we will also pay very attention on a 786 retracement of this whole move to the downside, which will be at 121. And if these two levels are passed, the probability will increase substantially that we're gonna have all-time high, and then this will become very impulsive higher. Okay, so this will be the box we will look from 51 to 110. So then I can transform this into 1, 2, and then intermediary 1, 2 for a much higher levels. So that's how we usually look this as an ABC until it's proven differently that it's gonna go. It's more like that because you don't expect that much. You're not in hype, and you have some kind of a 5-wave sequence on the downside. You can turn this into an ABC, some type of an X wave. And the further ABC to the downside, I will not much agree on that. So you will have to construct something differently. So that's why I'm not, I'm very cautious about Solana. But what I can say from my experience, RSI and all of that I said before, I think that it's going to make a pullback and then it's going to continue further on the upside, at least towards this level and maybe even higher. Okay. So expanding triangle, yeah, that's very rare. I don't know. XY looks like an expanding diagonal. On this one, oh no, that's just a, when you look 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 3 waves down. We maybe talk about the Bitcoin. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, guys, so that's it from me. See you either at the trading analysis, and if we are not aired next Thursday, we're gonna be aired some of the Thursdays. So as we come back, so see you on this channel either next Thursday or the Thursday afterwards. As I said before, I do these crypto labs much in a lesser degree than I was doing them before. So if you want, you can subscribe and be notified where I'm gonna do it. If not, just check Trading Analysis YouTube channel and see are you gonna find a new link for the crypto lab. So thank you guys, and I'll see you. Bye bye.